factor.
Yeah.
I defy anybody to write out what I do, because I haven't
Yeah.
a clue what I'm doing.
And I love your playing. Bert, every time you play, Bert, at any of these things, it just makes me happy. You know, your rhythms are fantastic. It just makes me happy.
Can I just say, I've only ever heard Orange in Bloom played as a waltz in a session.
Yeah,
sometimes by
good
the
point.
same people who would play it as a Morris tune and would play it quite differently if they were playing it for Morris.
That's right. Yeah.
I've never heard anybody play it like a waltz for Morris, but maybe
Right.
that's
I
just
have,
because-
unfortunately. There's people who say they could play for Morris and they start playing it and they play it, even though, you know, they know how to dance, they played it waltz rather than... I mean, and it's
But
not even...
I've always heard it called the Sherborne Waltz when it's a waltz, and Orange in Bloom when it's for Morris. So to me, they are different tunes.
And there is another Sherborne waltz, yes. But the other thing is that the stepping for Sherborne is so distinctive
Yes.
that it's not even that you play it straight 6/8, and its stepping is different from a normal double step in 6/8 for another tradition. So you know that makes a huge difference, doesn't it? But anyway, we've got a whole bunch.
Can I just point out, this is all my fault. It was me who played the tune, and I played it as a waltz. And right from the first time I came across it, I was aware that it was written out as 6/8 time and played as a waltz. Anyway, I learnt it as a Morris tune to be danced by a Morris side, dancing Sherborne tradition. And that is actually how we played it and how we danced it. And there's nothing about we did it wrong, because we actually were very keen to go to Stow in the Wold, and we got Sherborne Morris people to teach us how to do the dance.
Yeah.
So it's actually there's nothing to conclude from this. I'm just saying it's all my fault.
Well,
I'm aware
Well,
of
I
it.
think the Sherborne Waltz is something that the revival has coined from the Sherborne Morris dance. And I don't know, I blame the old Swan Band.
Yeah, exactly.
you can
Somebody like that.
And when Shirley Collins went out on tour a couple of years ago, her band played a selection of Morris tunes, and they played Sherborne. They played Orange in Bloom as a waltz, and they had no idea that it. And they asked Boss Morris to dance for it. They had no idea that it could be played in any other time. In fact, it really was quite appalling, really, I thought.
On our second Puzzle Jug CD, we played it as a waltz.
Yeah.
We tacked it on to the end of a song called, what was it called? Blah, blah, blah. Needle Cases.
So you're to blame.
Which is a waltz, and then we carried on into...
Surely you should play the tune in the way that the dancers you are playing for can dance it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think so.
Because,
But
you know,
But I've played it in sessions, tagged along with Valentine. So they go well together in a session. It gives you more variety with Orange and Bloom and Valentine played either way, as both a waltz or the Morris stepping Sherborne style.
Yeah, I just feel that every time it gets played as a waltz, there's plenty of beautiful waltzes. It's a missed opportunity to play a really lovely English jig.
Yeah.
A beautiful English jig. And what a missed opportunity by playing it as a waltz, And sometimes in a session, if they play it as a waltz, at the end of that, I say, right, let's play it as a jig. It's much better.
While we're on the subject of Orange and Bloom, though, there's only the one version of it in the Morris repertoire, and that's the Sherborne one. I don't know of any other versions anywhere in tune books or anything. It seems to be a
Never
one-off.
come across it elsewhere. I searched for it when I was working at Vaughan Williams Memorial Library.
Yeah.
I never came across it any other way.
But it sounds like the title ought to be a corruption of Orange and Blue or something. But
Yeah, could be, but it doesn't match with Orange and Blue.
oh no.
The tune. I'm making Andy the co-host. Andy, I've got to disappear for a couple of minutes to send an email.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll describe the dance that I wrote to the tune.
Well, first of all, can I ask you to watch?
No, wait, it's all right.
Can I ask you to watch the participants list? And if any attendees come in, you switch them to and make them panelists.
Oh,
Can I just, before we move on, add one more final spoke in the wheel with regard to Orange in Bloom, which is when you say you're playing it as a jig, actually, aren't you playing it as a strathspey?
Not even that, I don't think. Not even that. Not even that, because it is such a distinctive rhythm, isn't it, for dancing Sherborne?
yeah, it certainly is. So, Steve, if people arrive, is it obvious what to do when
You click on more and then promote to panelist.
click on
There isn't anybody there at the moment.
I'm not seeing. Oh, it's more the little dots. Is it?
Yeah, well, when you can't see that because there isn't anybody in the attendees room, but
I see. Okay. Right.
but when they appear, okay, they can watch, but they won't be on screen when they come in. I've just got to go and quickly make a phone call.
Okay, I think we ought to start playing anyway. So, how about we start with
Orange in Bloom, with or without the dots?
no.
And
Because it's
anybody who's leading, please remember to put on your put on your original sound feature.
Yep, original sound. Okay, so I think we should start with Laura Shear's Bampton. That's something that we've been featuring a little bit of on a D pipe. Right, so I've got my original sound on. Yes, I got it on.
And everybody needs to mute except for Andy. Or we'll get the echo.
Yes, but we'll hear you. We'll hear you through the pipe and tabor stratosphere. Okay, all right. So are we all ready? Okay. was that, Atsu? Was that all right for you? Atsu, was that okay for you? Because you're Atsu.
Fantastic, brilliant.
You've been. I'm hoping you guys have been practicing that for your procession.
Yes, we are practicing, and yeah.
Will you all be dressed as garbage cats? That's the question.
Sorry?
Will you all be dressed as garbage cats when you perform?
Just in October, but yeah, we're going to dress a garbage cat, and maybe we are going to play in this ghoulish as the garbage cat costume.
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope in this year.
Oh, right. And while I think of it, somebody messaged me just overnight, just saying how inspiring they found Terry interviewing you, and how really fascinating and inspiring it was. So that's really nice. I think they might even take up a bit of pipe and tabor out of that. So it's lovely.
Yeah.
Right. Who wants to play next? Do we have somebody to wave a hand to play? Oh, we got yay, MJ! Hurrah!
Okay. I want to show you something I've been doing during lockdown. I found playing without any live dancers in front of me rather frustrating because nobody's ever in time with me. So I've come up with a solution. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna have to move the computer. It took me a while to figure out how to attach this, so it's shoved through my belt loop and it only works when I've got a fairly tight fitting belt. Okay, and of course I can only play it with a big pipe because otherwise I'd have to be a contortionist. And the tunes are Puttery Beast, or Buttered Peas if you prefer the English name, and the Hooligan Jig. Okay, here we go.
Wow!
Whoa!
Fantastic!
Excellent.
MJ,
That was
that was
brilliant.
brilliant. That was really good.
Phew.
That is
Can't do
awesome.
that for very long or I get backache. I kind of need a longer pipe, possibly a longer stick, all sorts of things.
So I want to know what's your dancer called and what side does he dance with or she?
Rails wrapper, of course. You notice the little red neck scarf and the red belt.
Oh, good.
I could see both your hands. Were you playing as well?
I was playing as well, and the difficulty was if the dancer hit the board too sharply, it tended to jolt my fingers off the finger holes. So yeah, I was playing the big pipe, and I'd got the pole supporting the dancer above my bottom two fingers. So I'm using the top three to play the pipe, and the bottom two to hold the pipe and support the dancer.
I thought somebody else was standing behind you playing the pipe.
No, that would have been
Very
far too
clever.
easy.
Very clever.
I was doing the whole thing myself.
Well, that was great.
Good, thanks. I hope you managed to join in with some of the tunes. Yeah, I couldn't really watch that. I was trying to keep an eye on the dancer, otherwise he ends up wobbling all over the place.
I'd like to see it again.
Oh, God, no.
Well, we are allowed to
I'll tell you what, I'll work on some other tunes to play with him, and I'll do some more at the next session.
It's fascinating.
Right now.
If I may say something,
Yeah.
I was playing a D pipe, and it was great to play a harmony along to it. I was trying to work something out. This is great because I almost feel like I'm in a jam session. Thank you. I mean, I've really missed accompanying people and playing along with people. So I know we can't bounce off each other, but it's the best thing. So
Well,
thank
that's another reason for choosing those two tunes, because they're only one octave, so you can play them on a G pipe low and they'll come out and G, and you can play them an octave higher on the D pipe, also in G, using the upper part of the range.
Great. Thank you.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's really excellent.
Did you make the little doll yourself?
No, it was made by a friend of my parents, Dave Williams. Well, he's actually halfway in age between my parents and myself, but I always thought of him as a grown-up. But he used to make them and sell them. He died a few years ago, and he made a couple of designs. He started out making a very elaborate one, quite big, about the size of a Barbie doll, which he used to take around with him to Cayleys. And he used to play at school Cayleys that had been organised by the teachers, and the kids were always kind of a little reluctant to come up and join in. So he'd take his jig doll out onto the floor and get one of the other band members to play a tune, and he'd use the jig doll, and they'd all come up and look, and then he'd get them dancing, something like a snake dance to start with, and then more elaborate Cayley dances, nothing too complicated. But he then started making them for people, and he had two designs, males and females. But he only ever made a few of the female dancers because they took longer to make, because he had to cut in and out for the waist, and they're a bit more complicated. So my younger brother got one of the female jig dolls, and I got one of the male ones it was actually given to me for my 18th birthday, along with a signed plank. Hang on, I'll show you the planks.
Oh, she's gone to get her plank. I've got an identical one, Dave Williams one.
Yeah, the
For about 50
originals
years.
that he sold had his name branded on the end of the
Yeah.
thing, but mine's got a message from Dave on it. That was for my birthday.
Lovely.
Here in the States, we also had the jig dolls, and they were called Limberjacks or Limber Jim. And I used to be, for 10 years, I was a children's entertainer and doing historical presentations. And I have a man, a dancer, and a cow, and a sheep, a little sheep, and a frog. Very, very sweet little jig dolls. And then also that leads into the rhythm of the spoons, which are the bones, the clicking bones and the American spoon players.
Oh, we play spoons here as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and so it sort of, we got it from you, but it passed down and became an Appalachian standard in America before they crossed the Appalachians. and those traditions stayed there in Appalachia. And so there are lots of jig dolls in that part of America.
Yeah, there was
I've
an
got
old guy
quite a
in the New
collection,
Forest.
including a reindeer, and I've got a frog. And
Yeah.
I've always called them dancing dolls because I think that's what Dave Williams called them.
He called them dancing dolls, but I've
Dancing
heard other
dolls.
people call them jig dolls.
Well, I think that's a modern thing, isn't it? Jig dolls? I don't know.
Yeah, dancing
And going
dolls.
going the other way, I play Appalachia because I've got 4 auto harps.
Ah.
Well, and in the States, they also degenerated into the black minstrel doll that was a black face here in the States. And it was sort of a racial problem. But the jigging black doll was part of our history as well.
Anybody here remember Pat and Rennie Pickles up in Yorkshire? They were a wonderful couple, and they had just the most amazing collection of jig doll, or dancing dolls of all different kinds, that was always huge fun.
there was a video on YouTube. I think it's been taken down now, but it was Pat and
Rennie,
the Pickles doing it. And a whole load of different jig dolls, yeah.
Wow. Has anybody seen Pete Stewart and his Max Planck jig doll? I mean, I know he's a pipe and tabor player, but I don't know if he's a member of the society or not.
He is,
Tell me. He must be, yeah.
Yeah, he comes to the York events sometimes. And he's also a keen member of the Bagpipe Society, so I see him on lots of things.
Well, I think I know a bit more about that, yeah.
My younger brother.
He's part of the Goodacre brothers. He was.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Member.
Yes.
My younger brother made a jig doll out of lolly sticks that he picked up on the beach down at Madderford, near Christchurch, Dorset. Well, it was Hampshire then. And he collected all these lolly sticks and glued them together and made his own jig doll out of it. And he stuck a piece of fur, real fur, really scrotty, sort of wild woolly looking stuff on it. And he decided it looked so much like Hugh Rippon, he branded Hugh into it.
Rob has made quite a lot of jig dolls, and the first one he made, when it was still unpainted, it looked like Shakespeare. It had that big forehead. So that one is called William. And on the jig doll website on YouTube, there is a video of me playing pipe and tabor and him using William.
Yay! Brilliant.
But it should be possible to play pipe and use a jig doll at the same time.
Well, that's what I was doing.
Yeah. Sorry, I was out of the room at the time.
I had a G-pipe because I need the length.
Right.
And I actually could do with a longer stick, but I had the stick thrust through the belt loops because I've got a belt with rather tight loops on it. So I was supporting the pipe with my hand that was playing the pipe. Yeah, so you missed it. I was playing the pipe and the jig doll.
But what I wanted to perhaps show you is perhaps we need a jig doll that's playing pipe and tabor. Let me just share. Well, the reason why I say that, let me just share this. I don't know whether you can see in the middle of the screen here. This is in Catalonia, and they have this mini giant. It's called a Nans. So instead of being a full giant, it's just a giant's head on top of that somebody wears, and this one comes from Mataro actually. But it is of one of the famous Flavio Bombo players in history. So it's a wonderful celebration of him.
Brilliant. Time for another tune. Who's up for another tune? Wave your hand. Yay, Bird! Hooray, it's Bird. Go Bird.
Oh, correction, I said on Friday night. I meant Bury St Edmunds and not St Albans. Don't know why I got mixed up.
That makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, it was only sort of later on I thought, hang on.
St Albans is full of pubs.
I come to bury St Albans, not to pray. No, that's wrong, isn't it?
Right, this is tune from Playford, one of his best. Very small, very compact, but there's a lot happening. It's a very surprising tune for how subtle and clever it is. G pipe, and it's called Maiden Lane. It's also bloody good for this style of drumming, but I haven't settled on exactly what I'm doing. So anything can happen as it just sort of happens.
Hooray! That was
Also fits very, very comfortably on the pipe. It'd be a very good beginner's tune. It sounds clever, but it's very simple.
We use it for an Ilmington dance, a lot slower than that. We do our Ilmington with galleys, so it's our slowest tradition.
Really nice. That's really good. I love that. And that tabering is to die for, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just have to say, Bird, anything you know how to do seems simple to you, but may not seem simple to us. Anything simple if you know how to do it. Love your tabering.
Thank you.
Right, who's up for next? Who do we wave a wavy handy? Do we having a waving handy? We have Mr. Peter Canson. Hooray! Yay! Go, Peter.
Oh, okay, I'll see how this goes. I'm not quite 100% sure how well it will go, but it's Polka Pair Plume. I'll leave it at that, I'm afraid. It sounded a lot better when I was just playing to myself.
Hey! It's always a nightmare playing on Zoom, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to do these days.
Thanks.
Yay! Hurrah! Okay, and who's up for the next one? Yay, Mr. Terence Carter. Yay. Go, Terence.
Me? I've got to move things a bit. So excuse me a minute. That's me. Okay. You hear me okay? Right. This instrument is a new instrument. It's recently been discovered. Look, you may think it's a violin, but it's not. It's called a chisel. All right? It's not the violin because it hasn't got a chin rest, see, and a shoulder rest. It's played down here. Now, I take inspiration from what Catherine said yesterday about that we should have more popular music. All right? Okay. I did it when I had my group. I brought the house down in the Symphony Hall because we played on crumhorns and shawms and bagpipes a piece called Rocco Round a Clocker, and they loved it. So it was a popular piece, right? Okay, it went down very well. But my greatest joy was when the children asked if they could play a piece by Gluck. All right, Gluck, Iphigenie on her lead, Herbertshire. So I'm delighted. I've given them all this popular stuff, but they chose and they wanted to play the Gluck piece. Anyway, as I said, Catherine said yesterday that we should include popular pieces. So a few years ago, the Morris ring applied to the lottery from funding. And the lottery people, the think tank behind things, said that, amongst other things, that instead of using handkerchiefs, they should use tissues, because it's more environmentally friendly, and the sticks should be not made of wood, but some other material, like bakelite or something. And the tune, oh yeah, I know, they said Morris Sides should wear things like the cricketers do, you know, sort of a red, all in red or all in blue, and things like that. And they also said that the music, they should use proper music, all right, none of this folk rubbish. So I invented this little piece. It goes like a bit like this, right? You'll recognise some of it. Bang! 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 Some ideas for the Morris pipers?
Bravo! I think the Victor Borgia of the Victor Borger of the viol.
I'll Victor. No.
See, did get 1812.
Yes.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Wow. That's fantastic. That's really great. Aha, right. Who is up for the next tune?
Can I just say hello to everybody on YouTube? We've got a number of people viewing on YouTube, and there is a live chat on the side. If you don't use the full screen option, but the standard option, standard view, you can take part in the live chat. You can tell us who you are that's watching and taking part. We've got Liam, who's moderating the chat for the first time. So he's on there, and just say hi to everybody on YouTube. Yes.
Ah, right. Who's up for the next tune?
Gillian.
Gillian, hurrah.
Right, I'll play you a Top of the Pops from 1200. Or somewhere between 1180 and 1220. It's called Magno Gaudens Gaudio. I rejoice with great rejoicing. But it's in E minor. Can't you hear?
Original sound.
Original sound.
Oh, I got that. Let me see. Audio settings. Where's the original? I've got high fidelity. Where's the original sound again?
Right, so you should have
Upper left.
Corner. Top left corner.
I have one person, please. One person telling me.
Top left corner, you should see a thing that says turn on blue, turn on original sound, top left.
Top left. Turn on original sound. Sorry, I missed that one. Yep. Select a microphone.
Probably your webcam.
Am I on? Yeah, I'm on now because it says turn off.
Yeah, it's blue.
Okay, hope this is better.
Hooray! That was fun. Where did you get that one from, Gillian?
A CD. A CD of it's an old a manuscript. It's a really rough manuscript. They found it as part of the binding of another manuscript, and it was rough writing on rough manuscript, and there are a whole load of tunes and songs. It's obviously somebody's little notebook.
Can you say what it was called again, please?
Yes, it was called Magno Gaudens Gaudio.
Thank you.
It's
lovely.
A manuscript from the Cambridge University Library. I can give you the number if you wanted it, but it's Magno Gaudens Gaudio. I rejoice with great rejoicing.
That's great fun.
Yeah.
Aha, right. Who's up for the next one?
Should I do one? Oh, Elizabeth, mate. I don't mind. Don't mind.
Go, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth first.
You can go first, Stephen, if you want to.
No, ladies first.
All right. It's early in the morning here. It's not even 6 a.m. So, and next to me is my sleeping dog. I don't know how she can sleep through these, but she refuses to leave the room. So I have a dog next to me, and my drum is at my sort of at my feet here on the couch. So I am playing the drum. You'll hear it, but you won't see it. I've been working on the D pipe, trying to make more beauty in the sound, and especially the high notes are difficult to make them beautiful. And I'm experiencing that it's all about the hole in the back, the exact placement of how far you uncover the hole when you go up higher, and the angle of how you uncover it. So I'm struggling with trying to make some beauty on the higher notes. And the piece I'm going to try is roast beef. It's a very beautiful piece. Roast beef, E minor piece. And I'll try it on my my wooden D pipe. hole in the back. Sorry.
Hey.
I'm trying to make it actualize, and it's all about that little space in the back. So I apologize for practicing, but I'm working on it.
So which note are you actually doing this back note hole business?
Well, I don't have sheet music in front of me, but the higher notes. All of those at the top require some different distance in the back. That's that last sequence that's difficult.
Oh, okay. Are you sort of fluttering, or are you, or what are you doing with your thumb?
No, just uncovering this space in the back.
Sort of like pinching the thumb hole.
Or unpinching it just slightly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, instead of pinch, I just slide downward. The angle seems to matter.
Yeah.
And on the wooden pipe, the angle, how much of the thumb is in the hole matters. But getting the high notes to sound beautiful is my goal.
If I may say something, I think it also, just from what I found, it depends on the pipe you're using. So each pipe has its own idiosyncratic, is that even a word? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But also, obviously, breath, the way you breathe into a pipe as well. I mean, that's a big thing on a recorder as well. So the higher notes require more stream, a thin stream, and the lower notes are more, you know, that thing. I think that's all I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. That all helps.
I've been playing the flaviol, and with that one, you do have to get the higher notes. Depending on the instrument, I'm either pinching the thumb or sliding my finger on the top hole of the front.
Right.
And on the gralla, it's the same story, that you've actually got to just make a little. Now on some instruments, there's a little air hole that's right up here, right up near the speaking part, that's always there. It's a tiny hole, but it makes the upper register notes sound better.
Wow.
And yeah, there we go. We've got Jason just arriving. There we go. A couple of things. We've got quite a few people on YouTube now, and also apologies from Clive. Clive said he's a bit knocked out after yesterday. I think he had you know, it was quite a full day yesterday, and he really enjoyed himself. And sorry he can't make today, but he's gonna sit back with a glass of something soothing.
Oh, we got Jez as well.
Jez just come in, yeah.
Good. Aha, right. Who's up for the next
Afternoon,
one?
everybody.
Hi, Jez.
Shall I go again?
Yeah, you go again.
Yeah, try. And then I saw Atsu's also up as well. Okay, I'm going to do. I usually do Princess Royal on the G pipe, but I quite like it on the D. Use a bit slower. In fact, more sort of a Winchester speed, I think.
That's a lovely modal sound there because of the, when you hear other people playing it on different instruments, it's often a very major scale, so it's lovely.
Well,
I think it's the Charlie Benfield version, and I think it's the loveliest one in the book. Yeah.
there are quite a lot of various modal versions collected, but the one that Melodians play is always the one in G major.
Yeah, because they don't like pull chords, do they?
Yeah, they say this tune sucks.
And it is a bit of a pity because it is such a lovely version, isn't it? And yeah.
I quite like the Atterbury one, which is another E minor one.
Yeah, and it's a tune that goes back a long, long way. You keep seeing it's written by O'Carolan, but
it's attributed to O'Carolan, but there's no proof that he actually wrote it.
Well, also it appears in other names, in other forms, 100 years beforehand, printed in London. So it's a tune that had been obviously around for a very long time, and I think, and also in the Dorian mode. From the start, so which makes me think it could well be a tune which came out the pipe and tabor because the Dorian tunes fit so well.
Yes. I do like the version in O'Neill's right at the back, which is attributed to O'Carolan. So that's probably the version. It could possibly be the version that he played, but it's obviously not the original version of the tune.
No.
But yeah, that's in a mode. Well, actually, it's not in a mode. It's one of O'Carolan's peculiar versions of modes, which is like the modern minor scale, but the notes going in the wrong way. So you get, instead of the sharpened notes up and the flattened notes down, he tends to do it the other way round.
On that, I do it different ways according to where I want to take it. So I don't stick to the sharpened note in any particular direction there.
Yeah, that's more or less Dorian mode, isn't it?
Well, I take it either way according to how it wants to go, and I write a lot of tunes like that, and so does I notice Eric Monbel, the bagpipe player. He does a lot of that, of taking it up to the flattened note, and then next time taking it to the sharpened note, and it sort of helps build a bit of tension in the tune. So I often write that into my own tunes.
Yeah, I mess
Princess
around
Royal
with
is it's one of those tunes that's been shaped a bit by the by the tabor pipe because if you're playing in E Dorian or Aeolian or whatever, the lowest note would be D, whereas a lot of versions would go down to a B, wouldn't they? They go down to the dominant. Can't sing it, but you know what I mean. And I think that's the influence of the tabor pipe. It hasn't got that low note.
No. And of course, when you play it on the bagpipes, you've got variously a leading note or a sharp or a whole semitone or a whole note tone at the bottom if you're playing on the with a minor thumb hole key. So people on that play it different ways as well. Yeah.
Is it
Great tune though, whichever way you play it.
Is it time for Atsu? Atsu, do you want to play?
I think I raised up hand to say hello to Jez, but exactly now, since the time is over here, so I think it's my time. So, okay, I'm going to play with our tone of scale. So maybe it is off. Hang on. So it's called Yagibushi, and from the north central of the Japan.
see. Oh wow, that was absolutely lovely. That was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Also, we have our tones. We don't have C. Yeah, one.
Oh, it's a different scale. Wow.
Just 6 notes with octave.
There's an awful lot of Irish tunes that don't have one note, that have one note missing from the scale. It's usually the sixth. Yeah, Tobin's Favourite's only got 6 notes. Means you can never tell whether a tune's in Dorian or Aeolian mode because the note's not there.
Another tune like that is one I was just playing on here. Sally Gardens, you know.
Yeah.
But there are other reasons for missing out a note. If you look at the tunes that were taken down when they gave some of the musicians a tabor pipe that didn't have the thumb hole in the right place, they would try and ignore it. So some tunes, there is a famous version of the Bledington, one of the Bledington versions of. I'll remember the tune in a minute. Basically just never, although the note is normally in the tune, he never took the thumb off because it sounded wrong. I'll remember the tune. It's a version of not Cuckoo's Nest, Young Collins. I'll have a little practice of it and I'll play it for you in a minute.
I thought they were mostly bagpipe tunes, and it was to do with avoiding a note that didn't sound right with the drones, whatever drones were being used.
Oh, I don't think that's ever stopped. I don't think that's ever stopped a piper, has it?
Well, that's why they like the Mixolydian mode, because if you've got a drone on the tonic, the last thing you want to be playing is a sharp seventh.
Wasn't Gillian sending round a set of tunes which kept the thumb on for the whole thing? Was that you, Gillian?
Yeah, I have a tune that keeps the thumb on the whole way through, but I can't for the life of me remember what it is at the moment. It might come to me later.
I'll have a little practice and I'll come back in a minute with that.
I put a couple of them into Terry's potpourri book, and also when I played last night, Remember Oh Thou Man.
Yes.
That doesn't use the thumb either.
Wow.
Just the 2 fingers. It's amazing what you can do with just 2 fingers, isn't it?
So in our new syllabus, perhaps we ought to start down at the bottom with tunes that only use 2 of the 3 holes. Would that be a?
When Dad was trying to learn to play the violin, I wrote him a tune that only involved 2 fingers because he was having trouble making the 3rd finger sound in tune. I could.
Another thing, there's the willow pipe, which hasn't had any finger holes at all. You just have just cover the end over, and
yeah, lots of tunes are pentatonic, like Speed Bonnie Boat, you know, and they're simple, but they're simple in the most profound way. The pentatonic scale is made up of those resonances, like you said, the willow pipe and the way the horns are blown. You know, they have just those notes, like a bugle. You know, pentatonic. Right. Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Wow. Okay, right. Who's up for
a
playing?
side hole as well.
Chris, hurrah, Chris. Go, Chris.
Take them off. Okay. It's a bit work in progress, this one, but I'll be brave. It's another tune from my beloved Philpott manuscript. It's called Over the Sea. I don't know whether people have come across this tune anywhere else. I haven't, but then I don't see. much music really. Um,
Hey!
That wasn't work in progress, was it? That sounded like work completed.
Well, it's in G in the original manuscript, but that means playing it right at the top of the pipe. So I've transposed it into C, which means a lot of half holding. But you can play it a tone up in D, which of course means using the little finger. And I'm practicing that as well, but I actually prefer half holding, if you like, within the octave to covering the end of the pipe, which I always find slightly unstable, but I'll do it. But anyhow, it's a nice tune.
Yeah, really nice. Who's next? Or does it have to be me? Okay, it's me then. Okay, I will play the Arcadian Nuptials. On an A pipe, if anybody wants to join in. It's going to be.
Oh, sure. I'm so sorry, I did that twice now.
It's going to be in D on an A pipe.
Was.
What was that called again?
It's called the Arcadian Nuptials. It's an 18th century.
That sounded dangerous.
Yeah, it did actually.
I've remembered that Young Collins tune from Bleddington. So the normal tune that you'd hear in major would go. But there was a version taken where the thumb, it's clear the thumb didn't come off at all, and oh, and there's quite a few stories about when they went round to collect tunes off old players, and they often didn't have a tabor pipe anymore, so they gave them a tabor pipe, but it wasn't necessarily the right thumb hole position for the one that they were used to playing, because there was a whole variety around the turn of the century, the end of the 19th century, and so that one was a version that got round the problem. there's I think it's Hinton in the Hedges, where they found one manuscript of tunes that were collected, and all of them had a peculiar sharp note in it, and it's because the thumb hole was in the wrong position, and they were recorded. So he played them exactly how he played them before, but they sound really awful because the thumb hole was in the wrong position. It was like playing a gallo play, but playing it with just playing TTS fingering. They're really peculiar.
Wow, that's really interesting. Gosh, are there any articles that we can read on any of this stuff? See?
No, do you know Elaine Bradker? She was the one who sent me the Hinton tunes, and I rather hoped she was going to write. I gave her the analysis of the tunes and why they were like that, but I was hoping she would write an article about it. It was when she was assistant in the Vaughan Williams Library.
Oh, right. Any chance of chasing her up?
Well, I did try and chase her up, but she hasn't got any of that stuff anymore. So I've got it on. She's gone back to America, so I've got it on my list to do next time I'm in C Sharp House, to go and dig out those tunes and get copies of them. Yeah.
They're probably all on the website these days, aren't they?
I couldn't find those two. They're in a peculiar collection. They're in a funny little scrappy collection on loose leaf sheets of paper, not even in a field notebook or a tube book.
Gosh, who collected them then?
That's what I don't know, and she can't remember.
Wow, awesome stuff.
So it's going to take some digging.
Yeah. Oh, you got to dig. That's really worth digging. That is, Steve. That's fantastic.
Yeah. But the tunes sound terrible in that. And if you straighten them out again, but they're just the standard tune, you know.
Oh well.
So it is just an oddity, but it does point out the issue of collecting, with this issue with the collecting.
Aha, right. Who's next?
Atsu's waving his stick.
Atsu, yay! Go Atsu. Play.
Sorry?
You were waving your stick. Are you going to play next?
I'm just watching myself with my camera.
Oh, you're doomed to play again, Atsu.
Jason's got his hand up.
Oh, okay.
I'll do a tune. I'll be playing. Yeah, I was going to play. After seeing on the concerts last night, there was over the Water to Charlie. I thought I'd do it do the Bleddington version of that. So I'll do that. But I'm going to be playing it on a C pipe because I've had just now had a little disaster with my D pipe. I ended up trying to put the cleaner down it, and only the end bit of the cleaner came out. So I've got to get some special pliers to pull the whole cleaner out of it. Bit of a shame, really. So I'll be doing it on my C pipe, which is a lovely pipe, and also a Barry Lloyd made pipe. So over the water, Charlie, in Bleddington. Oh. Girls, could you turn off the iPad just for a minute while I do a tune? That's good.
Is that all right?
Hey? Hmm? Oh yeah. This thing. Right, there we go. Sorry, I missed the last two bars.
Hey.
Alternative ending.
That was really fun. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
It's
Girls,
a shame
put the iPad back on now.
It's a shame we haven't got Gavin to. Gavin was the one who was dancing in the concert last night, and he has a fantastic Scottish accent. So
I really enjoyed the.
I keep trying to get him to say things like "over the water to Charlie."
I really enjoyed the way you brought the concertina in towards the end, and it sort of evolved into a different sort of sound. Oh, that's really good.
Oh, I'm glad you like that.
Yeah, that was really good.
He's got his concertina. It's got this sticker on it saying "Made in Hong Kong" or "Made in China" or something. He's deliberately put that on there because it's just like really expensive 19th century concertina. He's got there to try and prevent people from stealing it.
Is it an English one? I think it looked like an English one.
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Oh, no, it's really good. Enjoyed that. So I thought I'd do my contribution to Charlie today.
Hey.
Well, I have to say, I really enjoyed the family dance at the Morris thing.
Oh, thank you.
That was so. It just keeps it so real, and moves through the generations. I really love the family presentation.
Especially the feather duster bit. I think that should be part. I think we all need a feather duster in the dance now. You know.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Maybe one that actually hasn't been used for its main purpose and isn't spreading dust all over the place.
Well,
I'll have to buy a second one.
If Ken Dodd and the Diddy Men did Morris dancing, that's what they would use.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you for the.
Aha! Right, who's up for the next tune?
Oh, Stephanie.
Hurrah, Stephanie. Go, Stephanie.
Well, this will be my first time playing the pipe and tabor, tabor. So, yeah. So I've got to be encouraged to do this because otherwise I won't.
Go on. Yeah.
Right, so I'm having to make do with what I've got, which is it's a sort of small djembe, so African djembe, Scottish spurtle, okay, and just a champion, whatever it is. Chris, you'll recognise this tune. It's called Les Filles de Mon Pays. It's a French march.
Very good.
Bravo, well done.
Yes. Yeah, have you just switched that off?
No, don't.
Yeah, we used to play that in roast beef, and Alan Day used to say, right, now we're going to play a tune called Adieu les filles de mon pays.
Well, you've got the full title there. That's good.
I said, Alan, no, it's much more poetic than that. It's Adieu les filles de mon pays.
Oh, very good, Chris. I knew you'd be able to fill in the backstory.
And then I said, actually, Alan, no, you carry on doing it in your London accent. Adieu les filles de mon pays.
Well, as you know, we use that in our bagpipe session every Hogmanay. So we have about 3 dozen, about at least 2 dozen bagpipe players all playing that at the same time.
And all trying to find their way round Wiston Lodge.
Yeah, which is a bit difficult this year.
Yeah. Well, can we play a tune?
Yeah.
Because I practiced one. I've still got a long way to go. I still find it incredibly frustrating, and I've discovered that you shouldn't be playing these after eating your breakfast. But I've cleaned it out now, and I found a few bits of jam butty and some scrambled eggs, and I've resolved not to do that again.
So it's a couple of dance tunes from the Pyrenees, from Béarn. It's Pontelou and Peretou. And if you're interested in the dances that go with them, we do them on Embouge. We have our regular Zoom bells. But I think we also have teaching videos of them on Duo Mistral page on. I'll put it in the comments just in case anyone's interested. We did some teaching videos before the Hogmazoom, and before we also played for the New Year's Eve bash in Washington. So we put some dances up so that people had an opportunity of having a bit of a practice. So anyway, I rabbit too much, and I'm also nervous because I still haven't got my act together with one playing the flabuta and two coordinating it with this. I certainly, if I stand up and try and play it, it clunks me on the head. So
that's just all part of the entertainment.
So I have to wear my crash helmet.
It's fabulous. It's nice to see somebody else has the problem of the tambourine hitting them over the head. That was that was my major wardrobe malfunction all the time. I was trying to. Yeah, they seem to have a life of their own. They just it's like it's like I remember when Helen was really small trying to put clothes on her. It's sort of
I keep watching the guys down in when I've been at Pau for the various things there with the Ministre Gascon, and the guys who are experienced in playing these things, I watch them, and it doesn't move; it just stays there.
I
and
think they got secret Velcro.
They probably got Velcro, yeah.
I see Vivian put her hand up there.
Oh, Vivian. Yeah, great.
And I also see that Lynn has just joined us. Hi, Lynn.
Oh, hi, Lynn. Hi, good to see you.
I'll play bear dance. I should be able to do it without fluffing it, even though I did get a few crumbs down my pipe this morning.
Hooray!
That was the first tune I ever learnt on a tabor pipe.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I was just saying to Stephen Langford there that Dorian Mode is so easy for learning, and that tune has got such a small compass that I think, Terry, that's a good one for the syllabus, isn't it?
Well, that was the first one that I learnt with Terry Mann about sort of 2 years ago at a workshop that he did in Sidmouth. And that's what, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years ago now, but that's what got me interested. And he did a fantastic workshop with bits of plastic plumbing and just bits of hardboard on string that you put over your wrists. And
I
yeah.
was in the same one.
Who was there? The same. Someone was at the same one.
Well, it was certainly one of his. Whether it was the year before, I don't know.
Well, I don't, because I just thought, wow, I've never come across a pipe and tabor workshop before, so that was really great. Yeah.
So all those pipe and tabor workshops that Andy and I have been doing over the years, nobody remembers those.
No. Well, perhaps I wasn't looking out for them by then. I don't know.
At Sidmouth, yeah, we did them for years.
I've missed a few years.
Yeah.
So can
I enjoyed it. The only time I went to Sidmouth, I did go along to your pipe and tabor one, Steve.
Oh, excellent!
Good.
Well done.
Yes, enjoyed it.
So it wasn't all in vain then.
Yeah, we went to Gillian's last year, about this time last year, so it wasn't all in vain.
Yeah.
And I went to Steve's in Gloucester.
What year was that, Gillian?
It was the one day pipe and tabor. Your first gathering.
Yeah, so that was 1999, was it? Or 2000?
Something like that. 99 or 2000, something like that.
That was the one in the Guildhall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a silver anniversary dinner of some sort. Start planning it now.
Yeah, and we'll all get our dinner in the pipes, won't we? Eat and play.
Oh dear. Right, who's up to play next?
Right. Oh. I'm further down the queue, I think.
Lynn, are you up for playing? Do you say?
Well, I am.
Yay!
I'm horribly nervous and it will go badly wrong, but I have to get over this lump of not playing solo sometime. So thank you for the opportunity.
You need to put your original sound on.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, because otherwise we can't hear you, because it thinks that you're playing is background noise.
An off original sound?
They turn it on.
I think it was on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
Thanks for the hand signals, chaps. Yeah. Right, let's do it again.
Very good.
Yay! That was very good.
Anyone recognise that one? I don't know if I played it recognisably enough, but it's called Deuce Jolie. It's by Macho. So it was written in 13 something or other. I love the way it's so syncopated, despite being 7 centuries past.
It's a fantastic tune, isn't it? It's really nice.
I was just looking on the website because Stephen said he'd have to find Bear Dance, and I thought I was certain we got it somewhere on the website, but we haven't. And I can't find it anywhere. I've been looking in the old festival repertoires. It's not in the English repertoire.
We definitely played it at the Winter Warmer last.
Well, it used to be one of our big dub tunes. You know, in the first years of the festival, Queen's Delight and Bear Dance, Hunt the Squirrel. You know, they were the ones we played. So I think everybody just knew it, and that was the thing, wasn't it? So Stephen, we're gonna have to put it up there somewhere, and
it's definitely there.
It's there somewhere because I remember seeing the notation for
It's
it.
in one of my books, by the way.
It is in one of
all my books. I can't remember which one.
Sorry, it's not in book number 1. I know that.
It's not.
No.
And of course, there's the issue of where to put it, because everybody thinks of it as medieval, but I think it was written in the 1970s. I think it was written by someone in Holland, I think, who sort of fed it onto the scene, the medieval scene. It got played a lot at medieval festivals and things, but he wrote it. You know, I can remember learning it, and we did a dance to it. They made up a dance for it as well.
I was told
It's
it's
a
Belgian.
tune. I think
It's
it should be an
not,
easy
was it not a Belgian tune?
No, Belgian or Dutch.
Yeah,
it
was
was,
the one I wanted from you.
Chris
Terry,
might
but
know
you haven't
about
got that
it.
at the moment, have
Yeah,
you?
it's as far as I'm aware, it is a proper Belgian tune for a proper Belgian dance, and I've even taught kids at Westminster Cathedral, Westminster Abbey Choir School to do the dance. It's a cracking dance, very silly,
Silly dance.
very silly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a proper tune and a proper dance. It's just not medieval.
We use it in the Black Swan Ball of Morris for one of our main dances, well, the most regular dances we do. It's great fun to do, and at the end of it, there's a big charge at the crowd with sticks waving at them, and you do get some interesting reactions.
Right, who's playing next? Yay! It's. Oh, sorry. Oh,
we
Jez.
got loads.
Jez hasn't played yet, so we need to have Jez, don't we?
Okay, so I'm going to play this on my beautiful new Mary Holson C pipe. Look at that, which is a lovely thing. So, in deference to Jason, I also found that I tried to put my cleaning stick up it and it got stuck, and I thought I'd split the damn thing, but I hadn't, so I'm pleased about that. So what I really like is finding two tunes that fit really well together. So I'm just going to try Argiers with Parson's Farewell, which seems to go nicely.
Hooray!
I probably should have said that was a C pipe I was playing on. Did I mention that?
Yeah.
Was a
That thing about getting your cleaner stuck in the pipe, quite a few pipes, it is quite easy to knock the block out, and then you can clean all the way through and then put the block back in. And Paul Hawksborough, who we haven't seen for a long time, but he came to the festival, that was his normal thing. All of his pipes, at the end of the evening playing, he would use a dowel to knock the block out, clean through, and then put the block back in.
So I'm never sure about this because when I bought my Mark Binns pipe, he even sent me a special bit of dowel and told me all about knocking the block out.
Yeah.
And then when I mentioned this to Mary Holson, she sent me an email that implied that I was absolutely crazy and I shouldn't dare touch the block at any cost.
I've just knocked the block out of my Mark Binns pipe. It wasn't playing very well, so I knocked and his fipples are really, really tight. When I knock the block out of my Charlie Wells pipe, it just pops out. But on the Binns pipes, they're really, really tightly in. But I knocked it out and cleaned everything up, and it's beautiful. It plays beautifully now. It makes a big difference.
What do you clean it with?
I get a bit of cloth, very slightly damp, and rub it up. And then you often use just a fingernail because that is not. It's not like using something metal, because often on the 90-degree edges there's a bit of gunk, shall we say, whatever it is, I don't know. And then I rub it with a slightly damp cloth again, and all the rest of it.
It's tricky because I took mine. I had to take mine to a luthier. The block was so tight, and also had some damage. And the woodwind repair person I took it to also made some other adjustments. But it's risky. You can damage the block. It has to be done just a certain way. So I would take it. I took mine to a woodwind repair person, and he took the block out for me.
Yeah, I think some of them it is easier than others, and when Paul was with me, he showed me how his cleaning routine, and then we did it on my pipes. We just took some of them were harder, some of them were easier. Look at Atsu there, that's what he does.
By Mary's pipe, but personally, I never touch the block because it is dangerous, as Elizabeth told.
Yeah.
But for example, here in Europe is much drier than Japan. So I put out twice per year to put oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
To do oiling for twice per year. But otherwise, I never get it out. Also, I don't think you have to get out. You can keep in always. If you, because it is always risky. It is always
Right.
risky.
Yeah.
Yes. I
wouldn't have the courage to do it, I must say.
What oil do you use, Atsu?
Well, I used to use almond, but now I also use olive. Yeah.
Vince told me to use walnut oil, and he said it's a good oil, but it also tastes quite nice.
And he also said you have to make sure that there is no oil on if you're using walnut oil, no oil on the join, anywhere on the join, otherwise put it together and you'll never ever get it apart. But I use sweet almond oil.
Yeah, Mark Binns has done a video on how to oil his pipes. It does involve knocking the block out if you can and take it out. But I'm terrible at remembering to do it. I just dry mine a lot, but I'm terrible at oiling them.
Yeah, I tend to use light almond oil. You can get small bottles of it and use that.
Yeah, I use that for a wooden flute, but I was told by somebody, I can't remember which maker it was, somebody I bought a pipe from, that almond oil was perhaps a bit too light and it would be better to use olive or rapeseed or any medium viscosity oil.
Yeah.
And I just tend to use the rapeseed that we use for cooking for my pipes.
And do you use that oil all the way through the pipe, or should you use it on the block? I understood that you shouldn't.
I think the opinion seems to be divided on that. One of the problems with it depends whether your pipe comes apart or not. Mary Hulson's pipes will pull apart because they're in two pieces.
Not all of them, but yeah, the one
ones I got of hers are in two pieces, so you can not just take a sort of pull through the bottom bit and then just push it up the top bit.
I think if in doubt, sort of ask the maker what they.
Yes. Yes.
Terry, can you remind us what the plan is for the next sessions in terms of tunes? Aren't we going to be tunes?
Me? I've got one or two pieces I've sent to Steve to put on the website. There are some out of book one. One is called Polorum Regina. Another one is called Dance of Hercules. And there's another one called Rosina. Okay? They're not too difficult, but they're lovely pieces.
So I think the plan. Yeah, I think the plan is for if people have got book one, to go through and choose some it's an opportunity to try some things from the book, and we'll just make book one the theme for the next session. Terry is suggesting one or two tunes that we might use as sort of like big dub tunes. So I'll put those on the website. But you don't have to play something from book one next time. It's just that there'll be that theme, and the idea is to encourage us to explore wider in the repertoire, because these books have got fantastic range of repertoire, and even Gillian might choose one thing, Elizabeth might choose something else, Bird might choose something else, and we get to hear them. And it'd be, it's a way of moving forward, and I'm thinking very much about some things which came out of yesterday's discussion about having resources. And so what I'd encourage people to do once they have learned a piece is actually take a video of themselves playing it using their mobile phone, send it to me, and we can link it to the page in the website, and provide a resource that people are always asking for. We've got PDF, we've got MIDI, we've got MP4. People are now asking for video, and so on the YouTube channel, we can put in the video, and we can link straight to that. So it's part of a master plan. I didn't suggest just use Terry's book so that we sell more books. It was to actually increase the amount of resources that we have, so to encourage you to play them and then record yourself playing them. And people do like.
Be a great idea. Sorry to interrupt, Steve. Yeah. That would be a great idea, having videos for someone in my position, because although I can read music, albeit slowly, it'd be great to hear people's interpretation of the music. It's all well and good seeing the music and going through it slowly on the keyboard, which is what I do to understand how I think it should sound. But to hear people's interpretation of it would be really useful, because I've listened to you guys and everyone plays things slightly differently, which is wonderful. So it's great to get an overall picture. Hope you don't mind me saying, but that's how it seems to me.
Yeah, there are MIDI files of those pieces I've sent to you, haven't they? Sent you MIDI files.
Yeah.
Of them. But so those people who play by ear just keep playing them over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Also, if you are videoing yourself, the thing that people do like to see is the fingers. So if you can video, it doesn't have to be a fantastic scene like Bill Tuck would put on with the field of the cloth of gold and in full costume. If people can't see the fingers, it's not so interesting. Terry, are you going to play one of those tunes?
I'm going to play another one.
Before you play, I think it's important to see the tabber as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you're just listening to it, it's sometimes really hard to pick up what the tabbering, what that person is actually doing, isn't it? Yeah. So I think fingers and tabber.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching the concert on Facebook last night. I didn't catch it live. And Steve, I just was very interested in the way you'd filmed yourself with just the pipe with those two little cymbals hanging from it, which was brilliant, because I've got some of those, and I was thinking to myself, this is great, all this creativity. But the filming of it was really good, because we could see what you were doing, and I think you've got a point there, because it's interesting to see what people are doing, and a lot of people are playing sitting down. I find I have to really be standing up to play as well, to sort of like to get the breathing, because I think a lot of it's to do with kind of like your posture and your breathing and everything as well. So, but it was very interesting concert. I thought the concert was absolutely fascinating. All the different, because all the different types of tabor or percussion instruments. Great.
Funny you noticed that, Stephanie, because I actually recorded it as a tryout of a new lens, so that I could have a standard setup for recording particular. For recording playing pipe and tabor, so that people could easily see what I was doing with both the percussion and the fingers, and it was an experiment, and I thought, well, I quite like that, I'll put it in the concert.
I wanted to say one thing before Terry plays. Sorry, Terry. But when we go back to the idea of cleaning and removing the block and all of that, my luthier told me the whole instrument is this fipple right here. That's the whole sound. So make sure you never interfere with that wedge right there. The straightness of that wedge, that's the whole instrument right here. So always keep that safe and make sure it doesn't get chipped or scraped or nicked, because that's your whole instrument, that space right there.
Okay, Terry, you're going to play us a tune.
One. Are you ready? I've got this little pipe. I'll play a Rosina. No, it's not Rosina. It's Palorum Regina on a D pipe, which is one of the pieces. What I was going to play is what I really wanted to play was another Hunt the Squirrel. Right, there's a one by Playford, which you need a bit of courage for this one, because you can play it low down, or you can play it up high. I'm going to risk it. So I need a bit of prayers. Right?
Hooray!
The top B.
I remember we used to dance that, and it was one of the early ones that I learned to play, along with the ones that Jez played earlier, Argiers and Parsons Farewell. My first dance trip abroad, we did Parsons Farewell. Yeah.
Well, while we got the squirrels out, I suppose it is time to finish, isn't it? So, should we finish with the Hada Squall? Great to see everybody. See you next time.
Bye bye.
Thanks everybody and goodbye. See you next time.
Yeah, great. Thanks for organising it all.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye, thanks.
Bye bye Sooty.
Bye bye.
Bye Stephen Rowley. Jolly good.
Thanks for all
Yeah.
the
Good fun, and I'm glad you're able to play now. So, I mean, we could move it back even further to start at 2 o'clock into the afternoon. Would that be even better? Yeah.
Yeah, for me it is definitely better.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be better for people like Elizabeth as well.
Yes.